good, everybody? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews, and today we are taking a look at the Hulkbuster from ThreeZero. This is the DLX version. I think this is Mark 44, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is considered Mark 44 or 45 or something like that. So we have the Hulkbuster from ThreeZero, and this thing is a chunky boy, and he is a heavy boy, and he is an absolutely beautiful boy. This thing is so big and so beautiful. Let's get a little close up here. Let's see if I can keep him in frame because he has some size to him. The paint's beautiful like a candy red. Now this figure did come out probably 3 years ago, 3 or so years ago, but they had a reissue I think last year. So I went on ahead and picked them up because I wanted at least one Hulkbuster in my collection, and I'm not a fan of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Hulkbusters. They look like shit to me. So I went ahead and went with the movie version. But this thing has all kinds of things going on with it, man. I mean, just look at all the beautiful candy red paint, the gold all over the place. I mean, just the tooling alone to put this thing together had to be crazy. And it has quite a few light up features. I guess it has like 3, so a few, and they're really cool. I do wish that they did light up in more places, or I wish this lit up in more places. Like basically he lights up in his eyes, the arc reactor, and then there's some lights on his back. But they also got some clear pieces down here that look like they maybe were meant to be lights, but maybe they couldn't figure out a way for them to work with the legs and the type of articulation that the legs have, or they couldn't fit it in there or something. But it would have been dope for these to also have lit up, but unfortunately they don't. And he doesn't really come with much either. This is how he comes back in the bag with these things on. You can take them off, but they are meant to stay on. But the paint job on this guy is just absolutely beautiful. Let's get a little bit closer here. I mean, it is just nuts how good this thing looks. Yeah, this thing is just so beautifully done. All the sculpting here on the arm. I forget what this thing is called on this arm, but it's really cool. We have all the panels and everything looking really nicely. And I will show you here in a minute some of the features that this thing has. I just want you to see how beautiful the paint job is on this thing. Now I have been playing with this thing for probably like 2 or 3 days now. One, I had to wait to review it because I needed to get the batteries in, because I had to buy some more batteries, because this guy takes basically the same batteries that the Mech Ninja Turtles take for their lights, and I was basically out of them because I had to use it on all those damn Ninja Turtles. But yeah, this guy looks so freaking good. Now, as far as just kind of features, let's just go over those really quick. He does have a feature here where he can open up his chest, and apparently you're supposed to fit Mark 43 inside of him from ThreeZero. I do have that all up for pre-order. I do have that on pre-order right now, but it hasn't come out yet from what I understand. And so I will be getting it. But until then, I'll show you like a workaround that I use, and it works just fine. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features here. So this whole chest part opens up, right? So you want to move these these shoulder pads out the way, and they can shift like this. So you want to move those pieces out the way, and then the trap pieces, like the traps, I guess you can call these. I guess these are the traps of this. You can pull these up. So you pull these up and out of the way, like so, on both sides. You want to pull those up. Then you want to take the chest and you want to unpeg it. They peg in, it pegs in like right here in the middle. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little tiny peg right there. Not a tiny peg, a little tiny hole. Pegs in there. And then you want to take these two pieces here in the chest, and they're kind of like on a hinge. And so you want to hinge those outward. And then therefore you can lift the whole head up. Now I forget which one this is, but it's definitely not the Mark 43. But this is an SH Figure Arts of our movie Iron Man from, it was Avengers Infinity War, I think. This was like the first suit that Tony used when he was fighting what were they? Ebony Maw. I think he was fighting when he first started fighting Ebony Maw. I think that's what suit this is. I don't remember what it's called, but he does just easily pop out from the like you can pop out his torso really easily, and then just pop off his arms. You have to fold these pieces up because these elbow pieces can't come out. You can. I haven't been able to pull them out of this bicep. I'm sure you can. Maybe if I heated it up, I can pull it out, but it's not that big a deal. And he just kind of sits in there, and bam, you don't even need the Mark 43 now. I think the ThreeZero one lights up and stuff. So if you do want all those light up features and stuff, and then there's like a stand or something that comes with the ThreeZero version that you can kind of have him looking like he's jumping out of the suit. But I will get the ThreeZero version, don't get me wrong, but it's not really necessary. And I was at least kind of able to recreate that whole situation. So I think that's pretty cool. So if you do have an Iron Man, like an SH Figure Arts Iron Man or something, you could probably do the same with this guy. But that's really cool how that pops out. And then as far as some of the light gimmicks, so there is, since I got the chest open, if you pull up right here, see, I just turned the light on. If you pull up right there, there's the light gimmick for the arc reactor. You just need a tiny screwdriver for that, by the way. But you have that there, and then you have the head has a, see if I can get this off. There we go. The head has some little screws that you need to unscrew, and then you need two AG1 batteries. And AG1 batteries for this one, you need two here, and then 3 in the back. So you need 7 altogether. But don't be too scared to pop this head off. It is a little scary when you're first trying to pop this off, because it feels like you can easily break this little plastic piece here. But it's sturdy enough. Just don't go yanking at it really hard, but you should be able to get that off pretty easily. And then what I typically do to get the head back on is just stick my finger through that hole there, and it'll pop right back on. Now, as far as closing this back up, you want to bring the head down first, because the head is supposed to sit under all of this stuff. Then you close these pieces up next after that. So yeah, and then you just close up the chest like so, and then you can bring these pieces back down like that, and these latches will latch the chest down, and bam, you got the head back and everything like so. So then on the back, which this is probably the easiest battery compartment to get to, you got this gold piece right here. You want to just squeeze these together, pop that off, and you can access the battery here. That's the one that needs 3. So, and once you get all those batteries in, then you can turn on all the lights. So let's take a look at these lights really quick. So we'll do the eye lights first. So the eye lights, there's a little switch here right under his chin, and you want to turn that on. Now you can't really see it. I don't know, you can kind of see it. They're not as bright, but then that light is really bright. And then we come back around here, we pop this piece off again, and we can turn those backlights on. They don't show very well with all this white light that I have blasting this thing right now, but I'll turn off my lights really quick. There we go. And so now you can really get a good idea of what those eyes and everything look like. I'll even turn off all the lights there, and then you can really see how much that shines. And then on the back, you can see how bright that gets. So yeah, that is really, really cool. I do love me some light up features. Love it when a toy has shit that lights up. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel real good. Let's turn all these lights back on. Okay. So yeah, all those features are really cool, and I'm glad they all work on my copy. I know sometimes people have issues with light up features sometimes with these things, and I am glad I did not have that issue with mine. I do wish they kind of went the Ninja Turtle route though, and just use magnets and use the magnet to turn this stuff on instead of switches. But yeah, but that's pretty much it for aesthetics. You can pretty much see how this guy looks. Oh, the bottom of his feet too are really awesome. Another missed opportunity to have lights. Definitely could have had some lights on the feet. And it's already like scratching up the feet, which is crazy. I haven't even really played with it that much to be scratching the feet up like that. I do wish, well, I'll get to that when we get to the articulation. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories. So he doesn't come with much. He only comes with 4 hands, and you get 2 of these kind of open, look like they're about to close hands, but I guess you're supposed to be shooting with these. So you get 2 of these. Now, this would be, you wouldn't need these if they had just made the fingers articulated in the 1 pair of hands. Or at least they could have gave us an articulated pair of hands, and then threw these in just in case, you didn't want to use articulated hands. But these are definitely big enough to have made them articulated. So I don't know why they went this route. And then you get 2 just blaster hands. So you get 2 of those. And they are very, very nicely done. Very nicely done, don't get me wrong. I just wish we had a pair of articulated hands. It was unfortunate, especially for how much this thing costs. There is definitely some die cast in here for sure. I want to say the feet probably have it, the legs probably have it somewhere. It's not as obvious where the die cast is. I think maybe I zoom out. Didn't realize that I wasn't zoomed out. I think there is some die cast down here, maybe. No, I don't think that's die cast. I'm not 100% sure where all the die cast is, but there's definitely some here because this bad boy is hefty. As a matter of fact, let's do a weigh in real quick. All right, I don't know if he can even fit on my scale. I think I can fit him on my scale. Let's see what he weighs. Well, Tara. Tear that out to 0. Let's see. He is 4 pounds. He is 4 pounds and 54 ounces. So almost 5 pounds. So that is crazy. So there's definitely some die cast in there. We talking about damn near 5 pounds. So anyway, let's get to the articulation. Let's see if I can actually do this without knocking the camera over. So the head is like on a little ball joint. You saw me pop it off. So it can move up a little bit. It can turn a little bit. You do get some tilt. The shoulders are on some hinges, so they can go in and out like so. I would recommend them, set them about halfway, about right here, if you just aesthetically want them to be there and still have some access to some of these parts. But these are on the hinge, and then this part of the shoulder is on a separate hinge. Then as far as the shoulders are concerned, otherwise you can get them up horizontal. They do have somewhat of a ball joint, or excuse me, not a ball joint, a butterfly joint, but it doesn't really come out that far. So I don't know how useful that would actually be. I mean, yeah, I don't know how useful that'll actually be. But then we get to the arm here, and this has like a spring-loaded gimmick here. So when you do your bend here, your elbow bend, this piece adjusts. So let's see if I can actually do it. So that piece will adjust and move out the way. See how that works? So that's really, really cool. And that's like spring loaded. So really good articulation in the elbow. You do get your bicep swivel at the top. Typical ball peg for your hand, nothing special there. And mine were pretty easy to pop in. Like my hands are pretty easy to pop in. Now the torso area is very surprising. You get a twist. You get a twist at the lower waist and here in the diaphragm. But then you don't get any going backwards, but going forward, you get a ton of range. For a big old chunky dude like this, I mean, come on. No, there should be no excuses for any toy company to not have a good ab crunch when this gigantic thing can do some of the best forward ab crunches that I've seen on an action figure. And then it looks good too. Like, look, they painted it all through. No gapping. Look at that. It can be done. It absolutely can be done. Now, as far as the waist and the legs and stuff are concerned, you already saw the twist. You do get side to side as well. I forgot to mention that. There is a good amount of side to side there. Now, kicking forward, these pieces, these little waist skirt pieces, are on a ball peg in the back here. And it's connected in the back. So these can move out the way for the most part. If you don't do anything with this leg, you can only get it out about that far. But this does have like a ratcheted drop down. I don't know if you can see inside of there, but it's like a ratcheted drop down. And so when you use that, you can get a ton of range. And for a gigantic robot like this, which wouldn't even need this range, that's nuts. That is absolutely freaking nuts. Kicking forward, you actually do want to use that drop down for kicking forward too. Move it out the way of this crotch piece because you don't want to be scratching that leg up. But yeah, plenty of range there. Plenty of range. Then here you got another gimmick where when you bend the knee, you got parts that separate and flow with the knee, and it looks so good. And look how much range you get. I just don't understand why some of these toy companies be having issues with articulation. Because this, now granted, this is a $200+ figure. I think it was like $200 some dollars. I don't remember, but there's no excuse. A figure shouldn't have to be $200 to have good articulation. So that was that. I think we got the splits, kicking backwards. You can kick backwards a little bit. Now if this pops off, it's not a big deal. Like I said, it's only on a little ball peg. Now for the ankles have this front part of the foot is connected to a double ball peg, like a dumbbell peg. And so this piece, you kind of want to like move this piece out the way, then kind of move this back piece out the way, and this back piece to move up. And then what you can do is you can pull this foot down. That came off. You can pull this foot down and extend that ankle, and then you can get a lot more range. Let me see if I pulled that out all the way. There we go. There is a little snap to it. So if you move this out the way, you can get a good amount of tilting upwards, going backwards, move that piece out the way, and then hellified ankle rocker. You can get plenty of ankle rocker out of that, going either way. And obviously that is on both. Oh, and there is a toe joint. It does have a toe joint as well. So that's really freaking dope. Now, I do wish that this came with more accessories. I wish we would have got some kind of blast effects, because I do think that this did shoot something at some point. I mean, it has guns here. So these pieces here that fell off, so let me go over these really quick. These have shifting, so they can't rotate or anything on the arm, but this piece here shifts up and then backwards, and then you can also lift this up if you need to. But then you have what I think they call the taser. This piece can slide out, and this can hinge up and down, and then you have your guns that can also pull out and slide back in. So that's what these pieces do. Now this side is pretty good, but this side, my guns are really, really loose, and so just keep falling back out. That's unfortunate on my copy. I do hate that. I'm not going to complain about it too much though, but that sucks that is really loose like that. I do not, and these things don't really fall out that easily. I was just manhandling this thing I was manhandling this thing a lot, so it's a heavy piece. Like it's almost 5 pounds, so you might get winded playing with this thing straight up. So let's go ahead and do a couple of comparisons, and then we can get to my final thoughts. Okay, and here he is next to the transforming mech Ninja Turtle Leonardo, and then the soon to be reviewed mech Raphael. I haven't reviewed him yet, so this will probably be coming up. I don't know if I'll review this then post this after I review this. We'll see. So, but I guess you'll see. But here he is next to these guys, and he's absolutely gigantic. So, maybe they could fight each other. I think this is clearly, the scale is off on these, because he's just supposed to be a little bit bigger than the Incredible Hulk, and I think these are supposed to be like Gundam size. So these are technically supposed to be way bigger than him. So the scaling is quite a bit off here, but just wanted to do a comparison next to something that is also robotic-like. But that's what it looks like with these guys. And here he is with my two model kits. Here we have Big O, and then we have the Mecha Godzilla. Again, scaling is off. These would be meant to be like skyscraper or plus size. Obviously, with Mecha Godzilla, he would be taller than a skyscraper, but two robots. So this is what he looks like with some model kits here. And here he is next to the Blitzway Japanese exclusive Voltron. And here he is next to like the biggest and heaviest figure I have in my display. And Voltron still is managing to tower over him, but Hulkbuster ain't that far off. Now I have no clue where I'm actually gonna display this guy because he is huge, and my Avengers shelf, not even an Avengers shelf, it's just a Marvel shelf at this point, is all full. Like, he would not be able to fit. So I got to figure something out because I definitely want to display him. But yeah, that's what he looks like next to Voltron. And that is it for comparisons. I lied. I had one more comparison. I wanted to go ahead and compare him to Momo. I recently reviewed this figure, so here it is next to Momo, and I think they look good together. I think these would be, obviously this is still a scaling issue here because Momo is supposed to be like ginormous, like kaiju size, so the scaling is still bad, but I think they still look good together. I do like this comparison, even though I would never display them together, but I do think they look all right together. So anyway, now that's it for comparisons. Alrighty, so in conclusion, I mean, this figure is awesome, man. I have very few gripes about it. I just wish it had articulated hands, and I wish the lights in the legs lit up. Other than that, I have absolutely no issue with this figure. It is phenomenal. I love the fact that I can fit a whole different kind of smaller Iron Man inside of his chest cavity. That was just an idea that I just thought of. I didn't even know my Iron Man would come apart like that to fit in there. So I think that's really awesome that you were still able to reenact that gimmick without having the ThreeZero Mark 43. So this thing is awesome. If you do have them, congratulations, you got a fantastic figure. If you don't, you can try to look for him. I'm sure he's still available in some places. I'm not quite sure where you can find him, and I know he's not available on Hobby Link Japan anymore. He might be available on BBTS. Let's take a look. So yeah, this guy's still available on Big Bad Toy Store. So I would, if you got the money, it's $279 on Big Bad Toy Store. I don't think I paid that much for it. I think it was a little cheaper on the import sites. Sometimes it happens. It's super weird, but this dude is definitely worth the money, and I really can't wait to get the Mark 43 so I can properly fit an Iron Man in there. And I did figure out which Iron Man I have in there. I think it's the Mark 50. I believe it's the Mark 50 armor that I have stuck in his chest cavity. So anyway, that's it for the review. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.